Yo, what's up everybody? It's the Gunman here, back with another video. Today, I'm going to be coming at you with my Black Ops 4 beta review. Now before I get started here, I want to explain that I have played the beta extensively. I have gotten to level 40, so I got the prestige token and all that shit. And I have used pretty much everything in the game that has been offered to us at least. So I think I have a right to criticize the game and all that stuff in the areas where it's needed. Overall, I don't think the game is bad. I think they're making steps in the right direction. There's just some things they need to fix that makes it more enjoyable. And there are things in this game that just will never make it enjoyable. Not specifically about the game, but just the players. Sometimes you get really terrible teammates and that really just destroys the flow of the game. Because in games like Control, where having a good team matters, if you have a bad team, you're gonna lose because with the whole health change, getting 2v1 is like a lot harder to take on than in older Call of Duty games. Having a bad team sucks because it will not be fun for you. With all being said though, let's get into the video. First I would like to start off with the overall mobility. Now the mobility, since they've changed it from last week, has gotten slightly better. However, with the changes from the last week from the beta and to this week, which is the week I'm able to play it, the mobility has been changed slightly and has been a little bit better, but there still are some things I think they can make it a lot better. First of all, it's increased how long you're able to slide for. Just very slight increase. Like it only need like 5 or 10% increase. Other than that, like it's okay for right now. Decrease the jump height, other than for mantling. Fucking the amount of times I've come across people trying to fucking use an exosuit is super annoying. And it's just so dumb to fight against. Like, it's supposed to be boots on the ground. I don't know why everyone thinks they still have a jetpack still. Like, it's just as bad as the World War II jumping. That shit was super annoying, so. Decrease the height jumping, other than being able to climb over things. And increase the sprint just slightly. Like, again, same with the sliding, maybe like a 5 to 10% increase of the sprint, and then maybe that would be also buff lightweight to make that slightly faster as well. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about mobility. For the most part, it's fine. Just to make it a little faster with the sprinting and sliding, but the jumping needs to go away. Just stop all that. Next, we're going to get into guns. Overall, I think the guns are fine. Like, all the guns seem pretty usable and enjoyable to shoot, and all seem like they have a chance. There's just a couple I think need buffed and nerfed. The snipers, they need to be nerfed. Big time. I'm not talking about just like the normal damage. That's kind of fine. It's just the things that need to be nerfed is the ADS time. I think the ADS needs to be lowered a lot. I think they need to be given a little bit more flinch, because I've come across fights where I shoot people like 4 or 5 times and they're just able to center and shoot me, or just like not even really move while I'm shooting them and just instantly kill me. And it's super frustrating, especially while I'm shooting them and they just run and bloop me like they can in World War II. We're getting Vietnam flashbacks of people using snipers in COD World War II like their shotguns. So that needs to be nerfed really badly. As well as, I believe they should not have any attachments that allow them to get more damage or less sway or less flinch. It should be a challenge for the snipers to get a good kill. That's all I'm saying. That's why in Black Ops 1 the snipers are really enjoyable to use, because it felt like a challenge trying to run up close to people with them. But far away, obviously, you're like a nightmare. So yeah, definitely remove high caliber. I think that's fucking stupid. That increases the waist damage and stomach damage and all that shit. They can keep AP rounds. They should be able to shoot through our body armor easily. I don't have a problem with that. Next, the SOG 9mm needs to be buffed. The damage just seems way too weak. Even though it has a fast fire rate, it just seems really useless compared to other SMGs. I just think it needs a little bit of a damage increase, and it'll be kind of useful. Not super buffed where it's like it's a melt machine where you just die in like a blink of an eye. Just a little bit more damage so it seems useful, can compete against other SMGs. And last but not least, buff the DMR. The DMR just sucks. Like, it is the worst the worst burst rifle in the game. Well, it's not a burst rifle, I think it's semi-automatic. I only used it a few matches, but I just didn't want to use it. It was super bad. The other two the other two burst rifles are good though. The Swordfish and the AUG. But yeah, the DMR sucks. Like, you need to buff its fire rate. The damage is fine, just the fire rate needs to go up a lot. Maybe not like a ton, but like enough. Next, let's move on to the characters themselves. I don't know why, but like just trying to tell who is who, the characters, is just so fucking annoying and hard from far away. Like you cannot tell who the fuck is who unless you're in their face or fairly close to them. So I think they need to give them like unique uniforms where it's super easy to tell who it is, or just make the uniforms brighter just so they're easier to see in like the dark areas, like an overload, the mid area. It's just super hard to see some of these motherfuckers sometimes. So yeah, just make the uniforms a little bit brighter. And also, anyone who just uses a sniper, like, give their uniform, like, a flashlight or something. It's just so much easier to see them. So they're not, like, in a dark corner and they're just blooping me and shit. It's just, it just makes it not fun, so. Make everyone visible and easier to see and obviously stand out from the environment itself. They seem to do a good job on that, and the environment seems pretty colorful. Doesn't look, is not hard to look at. Overall, the design is okay. They just need to be, I don't know, it just needs to be easier to see is all I'm saying. The maps, overall the maps actually aren't that bad. I was kind of, when I was watching the alpha and the first beta, I was like, oh, these maps kind of look terrible. But then when I was playing them, I was like, okay, these are alright. I think Frequency is kind of the worst map so far. It's not like complete garbage, but there's just nothing interesting about that map going on. And people mainly fight on like one side of the map, on like the rails. I think that's, I don't know if that's what it's called, or the catwalk, I guess, like a big catwalk off the edge. That's really where people fight. But yeah, also the maps, like, they just need more open areas. It just feels like at times, like, the maps are just super enclosed, and for this type of gameplay, the maps need to be more open. Some areas do a good job at that, like in the map that was released this week was really good. The one with all the cars and stuff. Which, by the way, why are the cars not destructible? Like, it would make the game a little more cool, or the map, it would make the map a little better if you could destroy the cars. And that goes for any map that has cars. You should just be able to blow up the cars. I don't see how hard that is. You're literally able to do that in every COD game, I think. Just not this one, which doesn't really make any sense to me. Unless they're just fake cars that just can't be destroyed somehow. I don't know, there's a reasoning behind that. But yeah, not much to say about the maps. Overall, they're pretty good. Enjoyable to play on. I wouldn't say these are maps that I would bring into a COD game like 10 years from now. But they're fairly good maps. I give them like a 8 out of 10 on the maps. Just need a few more open areas in some of them, then they'd be alright. The perks. Oh my goodness, I have never seen more crush perks in my life. Engineer, Scavenger, and Ghost for the perk 1, 2, and 3 slot just seem like a must-have, and you really don't have any other reason to use any other perks. Hopefully the other perks they add in the game just seem more useful, or they give the other perks a buff somehow. I don't know how they do that, but just give them a buff, other ones a buff. Because knowing where enemy equipment is just super useful in this game, just because how much equipment's used. Ghost, staying off radar is nice, and Scavenger just feels like you run out of ammo so fast in this game. So, to fix it, I guess you should just give people more ammo at the start. I don't know. Gear, Stim Shot and Body Armor just could really just feel like a crutch perk. Or crutch gear, I guess. Not perk, but gear. There's really no reason you'd use anything else. I forgot what it's called, but the one thing where it decreases your score streak cost, that's really the only thing useful other than those two, which we'll get into that later about the score streaks. But yeah, Stim Shot and Body Armor, there's really nothing else you'd use. I mainly use Stim Shot because it's just nice to be able to turn a fighter around, being able to like quickly go around a corner I'm low, heal up, and then jump back out and kill him. Because I know I'm the better player in some circumstances. Oh yeah, and the equipment side. Why do I need to bother to trade my specialist equipment? Like, the special equipment is far better than any other equipment in the game. You really don't have a reason to use any of the equipment unless you just feel like it. So yeah, I don't know. Give us a reason why we should use regular equipment over our specialist equipment. However, the one thing I will say, I do like how there's not really any flashbang, concussion, or frag spam in this game. That is super enjoyable. So maybe this is what they're trying to do. They're like, hey, if you want to frag spam, you just can't use your specialist equipment, which is really good. So that's kind of like a toss-up, just whatever you think. Alright, now we're going to get to the wild cards. I like the idea of gluttony, but like I was talking about before about the crutch perks, you really don't have a reason to use the other perks. Like, I tried it and just, it was okay, but you would just rather use the crutch perks from the 1, 2, and 3 slot over using all the 1 slot perks or all the 2 slot perks or whatever. Perk greed, again, kind of like gluttony, just not really all that useful in this game. Like, you'd rather use those 3 crutch perks than anything else. You really don't have any other reason to use 2 primary ones, 2 secondary ones, unless you're just feeling cute. So yeah, you'd rather use the crutch perks. Secondary gunfire is just really not all that useful in my opinion. 2 attachments on the shotgun's enough. The pistol, you really don't need an attachment on the pistol, honestly. Either of the pistols are pretty strong in their own. So yeah, you could just live without it. Alright, now we're gonna get into the score streaks. Overall, the cost for the score streaks is just way too high. It boggles my mind why they made UAV 550 points. Somehow worse than COD World War II's UAV. Like, you go in matches sometimes, nobody, like, you hardly see anybody get score streaks. And in the beta, I was pretty good. The only things I didn't really get to try was the gunship and the sentry gun. But everything else, like the soldiers that come in, I forgot what they're called, the squad, I guess. The mantis, all that stuff. Like, the streaks seem fine, like, they seem good after the buff. Other than, what I'm gonna get into, buffing the helicopter AI. That needs buffed. I swear that thing does not get any kills. It might be because a lot of the maps just have too many buildings, and like I was talking about earlier, how they're not open enough for the helicopter. Maybe they just need to put more holes in the roof so the helicopter can just shoot through it. So yeah, lower the cost overall, and then the one thing that lowers the cost naturally should just lower it either even more, maybe not by too much, so that doesn't seem like a crutch. Well, actually, no, it should lower it a lot, so it gives people a reason to use it then, instead over your stim shot and body armor. That actually makes sense. So yeah, definitely lower the cost of the score streaks, because they really don't seem useful. Like, you would rather just, you're fine with your specialist ability, which obviously does take time to get, but still, the score streaks, it's just like, you'd rather use the lower ones, like the UAV. Obviously, the UAV is like one of the best kill streaks of all time, just because it gives you information. And there wasn't an orbital VSAT in this beta, so maybe they'll have something like that in the final release. Which I actually don't know if they will, because they have Recon. Recon pretty much is an orbital VSAT when he gets his ability. So I don't know if they will add one. I think they should, since they've had one in every Black Ops. It would only make sense. But I don't know. Alright, last we'll just get into a specialist. Really not a whole lot I could talk about here, just a few things here. The 9-bang. That thing needs a little bit of a nerf, and the only, not like nerfing it itself, but being able to just like crouch and prone. Like, you cannot like move at all when there's a 9-bang. Like, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to crouch and prone. I don't know, that's like the only real counter to it, unless you're wearing a tac mask. Which, again, tac mask isn't all that useful. Because I haven't seen the 9-bang thrown that much. Like, yeah, if there's a guy who was using that guy, then yeah, it's kind of used a lot, but even then, like, I still don't really see that character use a ton in my game time. The gravity slam, you just need more of a reaction time to be able to kill the guy while he's using it, because like he just does it super fast, and you just have no chance against it when he's near you. I think he just needs to get a little bit more height so you have time to react and shoot him if you're a good player. Good players should be able to react fast enough to shoot him. When you have no reaction, or when you can't have a reaction, there's like no chance against it. And the dog AI just needs to be buffed, man. Like, the dog AI is sometimes just fucking dumb. I got a dog. I only use the guy a little bit, but he's just so much easier to shoot now, and he's just like, I've seen the dog just fucking stand there and do nothing. So yeah, that is like, ugh, that is just super annoying to use it, because your specialist ability, it should be strong, but at the same time it should be counterable. Obviously, if the dog is coming at you from a long path, you should be able to gun it down, but if it's in a small area, the dog should be going crazy against people. I wonder if they're going to have some type of dog streak in this game, because in Black Ops 1 they had dogs, in Black Ops 2 they had the, I forgot what it's called, but the, what are those things called? The drones? The drone swarm? Yes, it's called swarm, I think. They had swarm, and then in Black Ops 2 they had wraps. I don't know if they're going to take that away, just because it's the whole change with the game. I don't know. Overall, I think these are some changes that are needed to the game, in my opinion, and I think it would make the game a lot more enjoyable. Obviously, the one thing that is not going to make the game enjoyable is just having shitty teammates. You're going to have shit teammates. This is not going to be fun playing Control or any objective game mode, because they're just horrible, and you can't win Control by yourself. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, maybe if it gets down to a 5v5 with no lives, and or a 1v5, and you're just super crazy, and you can move around super fast or something, and just completely outplay everybody. But other than that, I don't see any way you could have fun with having a shitty teammate, sorry, out of Control. It's just not gonna happen. So yeah. Also, I think they need to change the way it finds players, just to try to find players closer to you. Like, I know I think that's the way they're doing it, but I've still gotten lobbies where people just have like 140 ping, they're teleporting around and shit. So yeah, I do play on the PC, just for anyone to know. PC does feel very good, by the way. I have to say that though. Servers feel pretty good. Just sometimes I feel like I'm going around a corner and I look back at the kill cam and I'm dying before I get around a corner, but my screen goes around it. So I don't know. Maybe they just need to get better servers or something. I don't know. I hope the servers are good at launch and they're not using that shitty hybrid system like they were in World War II, because that was awful. So yeah, that's all I really had to say about Black Ops 4. So far, the multiplayer isn't too bad. I actually have enjoyed myself. If they make all the guns useful and fun to use, and then have the snipers a little bit more of a challenge, so you're not running around like they're a shotgun, and you're able to actually take them down if you're shooting at them first, unless they're able to get behind cover, heal, and then peek and aim. That makes sense. But if I'm just putting 4 to 6 bullets into them, they live, and they can just aim and shoot me super easily with no effort. That's just annoying. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I have to say about that. Anyways, if you had anything different about my criticisms, please put in the comments below. I will be happy to read them. I am open to any criticism to my criticisms of the game. Yeah. Overall, I actually didn't like the idea of Black Ops 4, the way they were going into it. Not because it wasn't like every Call of Duty, just because it was kind of staying at the futuristic style. I didn't really like that. It's not that bad, actually. I think I'll probably enjoy this game, grinding all the camos and stuff. So yeah, tell me what you think of the game, if you think it's alright, if you think it's dog shit, all that stuff. If you're gonna buy it, yada yada yada. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, a like is always appreciated. And subscribe if you're new for more of this type of content. And I'll see you later.